Senator
Torphy?
Schmitt.
Oh, sorry.
Senator Schmitt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to follow up on that, what is the nature? So, I guess, what is the extent of that mismatch of capabilities that exist between maybe federal and the state and local partners? So, like, what's the difference between the Super Bowl versus, Mizzou, Alabama, in October? What's the difference in capability there, and how concerned are you, number one, by that, and number two, what can be done about it?
The difference is for the Super Bowl and other special events that federal partners are protecting, we have the full gamut of capabilities there that go deployed along with trained personnel who can act and respond to threats as they arise. Whether it's a NCAA football game or another NFL game during the regular season, that federal presence is not there, which means the resources and the capabilities and the countermeasures are also not there, right? And so stadiums and local jurisdictions are using what is within the realm of legal in the current framework, but it's inadequate for them to be able to detect the far range, the wide gamut of potential threats at these events. And as Mr. Torphy mentioned, there are nearly 90,000 special events that get nominated, for SEER recognition at the federal government level. Only a couple dozen of those rise to the level of national significance, where we have the determination that it would merit support for counter-UAS given our limited capacity, right? And so by enabling state and locals to use the same technology in the same responsible way, we're bolstering our general capacity from a law enforcement and security functionality.
And I would go ahead and continue on that, but while you're answering that, so let me ask this. So in the state, what is the best agent? Is it the Highway Patrol, or sort of like, is it this, if there's some state police? Missouri doesn't have state police, you have the Highway Patrol. Are they the best ones to sort of be the conduit for this as we bridge these gaps? And then also, what role does the private sector play? Because I'm also on the Armed Services Committee, and what we're finding is that there's private actors in the marketplace that already do this really well, that probably ought to be contracted with, as opposed to us trying to reinvent the wheel every time. So.
To get at your first question, Senator, the difference is absolutely stark between the protection of the Super Bowl and most any other event in the United States, and the American people should be very concerned about that. These law enforcement agencies, they know their jurisdictions, they know their venues, and you've probably seen on television instances of drones hovering over the field. And you've seen the police officer in charge or the event organizer in charge looking at it and talking on his radio, because there's nothing they can do about it. And that should be very concerning. There is a role for the private sector absolutely to play, and they're already playing that role, and of course the development of these amazing systems that are being developed. But perhaps in the protection of critical infrastructure, that's going to be a sustainable way forward. What
critical infrastructure do you think is most at risk currently?
I would defer that question to the Department of Homeland Security.
If I can, they're all at risk. Right. Every one of the sectors is vulnerable in some way to a drone threat, whether that's a chemical processing plant, an airport, a stadium, a federal facility, a prison. They're all vulnerable in their own unique way, because you can use a drone to conduct some sort of criminal or nefarious activity. You're only limited by your imagination. It could be dropping a package into a jail yard. It could be interrupting or disrupting commercial air traffic. It could be connecting a explosive device and attacking an ammonium nitrate plant. The drone is just the mechanism, the delivery vehicle, and so really they're all vulnerable in their own ways, to include cyber attacks, as the chairman mentioned.
Yeah, I can tell you that some more classified briefings, the ones that relate to drones are often the most concerning. Mr. Hardy, I don't have much time left, but I want to talk a little bit about the cartels and what's happening at the border. Have there been drone attacks on U.S. personnel by Mexican cartels?
I'm not aware of that, but I would defer to Mr. Willoughby on those questions relating to the border, because they're closer to that.
Okay. I would have to circle back with you, but I can follow up to get you an answer.
And where are they typically acquiring their drones?
Walmart, Amazon, most of them are off-the-shelf products that you can get at any store, order online. You can also buy components and create it yourself through a DIY.
As we're talking about sort of the legal framework of how we can be more effective in deterring, what can be done on that front as far as limiting the procurement from, individuals or cartel organizations?
It's a fine line to walk because, as was mentioned already, drones are used for many positive ways, right?
Yeah.
And it's very tough to determine intent from, a purchase point of view, if you will. I think by enhancing some of the regulations or left of launch initiatives that we have for Homeland Security purposes, that could go a long way in deterring or preventing the misuse of drones. And if you think about registration or pilot certification, enhancing our ways to share that information with law enforcement partners to ensure that that's being done appropriately and across the board, I think will go a long way. But the reality is, if you're a nefarious actor, you're not going to register.
So this is all terrifying, many of it. When I go back home, we got that piece. What is the thing to be most, what should be, what advances have we made in the last couple of years that we can take some solace in, knowing that there's a lot of work to do?
Absolutely. I mean, we're doing our best to keep pace from a countermeasure perspective. What we've done is, and Mr. Torphy can speak more to this later, it's a system of system approach, right? And so we have radio frequency detection systems, we have radars, we have electro-optical and infrared cameras that we can use, and all of this is pumping information to help our operators make the most informed decision on a case-by-case basis. And this often is a matter of seconds in a tactical situation. And as the technology improves and our ability to train and specialize operators, we've made tremendous headway in being able to differentiate good from bad and allow those that are flying authorized and compliantly in an area to continue to do so alongside our ability to stop and prevent those who are flying unauthorized or recklessly.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And